Here we go.
Here we go.
I did it this time.
Good job, Josh. Here we go. Here we go.
He's learning. So we're going to just pick right up where we left off last week.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. Tina was fuming. She wasn't fuming.
She was spicy is what I said.
Yeah. She was irritated. Agitated.
I would like to change the story of that word. I was not fuming or whatever, agitated, spicy. I mean, maybe it was a little spicy, but I think this is actually how I want to start this off. You guys, I'm going to surprise you a little bit here. So last week at the end of our episode, I was talking about how I wanted to think about my environment at work, because that's what we talked about, environment. And I was talking about how I wanted to make sure that in my work environment that I was showing up in a good way with my team. These two guys are my team. And sometimes when we work together as a team, not everybody looks like they're on the same page, even though they are on the same page. Does that make sense, guys?
It's fair.
I would say so.
So today we wanted to talk to you guys about, we got to fly.
Fly's bad.
We got to fly. Well, hello. Yeah. We wanted to talk about the differences in between men and women's mindsets and how stories can get created based off situations that one person's thinking one way and another person's thinking the other way. But as we've all agreed upon, it's not that they're right or wrong. It's just that they're different. And likely our team is on the same page, right? Like we're on the same page.
Yeah, we were on the same page last week.
I am going to throw this out to the guys first because and they don't know I'm doing this. So we're just going to.
Here we go. I like this. This is exciting.
This is exciting. I know. This is exciting.
Scheduled.
So and I'm going to start with Josh.
Okay.
I want you to take me back to last Wednesday morning, and I walked into the gym, and you came out of the office together, but I want you to tell the stories individually because I think it's important, because I want to get both of your takes on what happened. Why is Jeff looking around?
He doesn't remember the heat lamp was Wednesday. Pointed on top of my head.
So
I felt like the light was just beaming on me.
I was training a group, and we record every Wednesday, right? We record every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
That's our. We struggled a bit there for a while to having our consistent recording day, but we do this every Wednesday somewhere around lunchtime. So they come out of the office together, smiling, and I'm training. Everything's cool. What happened after that, Josh? Can you walk me through what the next...
Well, I'd like to take you back before we go forward.
Sure.
So several hours before that, I said to him, what are we talking about today? And he goes, well, I don't know. We should ask Tina. And I said, well, I'm not going to ask Tina. Do you want to ask Tina? Knowing that we would get some kind of response. And then later on it happened. We were in the office and... we were like, we should probably talk to her because we need to get this. And then you saw us come out of the office, and that's when that happened.
Okay, what happened after that then?
I seem to remember, did you say, you've got to be kidding me? Something to that line?
I think so. I think I said
something
like that.
It sort of escalated from there.
Yeah. And then what kind of feeling did that create for you when you saw my reaction?
That we just did it. the shit was going to hit the fan.
Okay. Were you going to say the F word? Okay. All right. And do you recall? I feel like I'm like a lawyer.
Yeah.
Do you recall the conversation?
Trying to make sure my story corroborates with Josh's.
Yeah. The Wednesday before, do you recall?
Oh, absolutely.
Sitting in the office and talking about?
We both knew that we had discussed a topic. We knew there was a topic. And we had both, and I'll let him speak for himself, but I know I had put it on the back burner because I knew we had it solved. It was ready to go. And so I sort of put it on the back burner because we had it all planned out. It was ready to go.
Okay.
And then it just slipped my mind what we were actually going to do.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeff.
Yeah.
All the same questions.
Same questions, yeah. Josh asked me last Wednesday morning, what are we talking about? I said, I laughed. I said, I don't remember. And well, we kind of just went about the rest of the morning. And then you came, and that's, yeah, I think that's probably about how it went. We had to feel like, well, we got to ask her, what are we talking about? And then when you were done training, or somewhere in the middle of training, you asked us, or we asked you, I don't even know.
You asked me.
We asked you, what are we talking about today?
And then I said, are you kidding?
You said, are you kidding me? And then it went kind of just silent.
I did.
There wasn't, it was that, I'm going to make this burn with just I'm not even going to give you the answer. She didn't even give the answer. Right. Like, she held on to it for a bit.
Okay.
And like, oh, okay. So it was, she gave us the whole disappointed feel. I'm disappointed in you guys kind of mentality feel.
I expected so much more.
Is what I got from this whole scenario.
So,
and yes, I remember sitting at this table. We picked a topic. I was very confident about the topic. Like, okay, cool. That's good. It's easy. To me, it clearly didn't need any prep work.
Clearly.
Otherwise, I would have been ready. I would have thought about it a little bit more, but I knew we could jump into this, whatever the topic was. We were going to be able to sit down and have a conversation about it, and it was going to be useful.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Like, my confidence was, like, regardless of knowing the topic or not, I knew you could have told me 3 minutes beforehand, and I would have been like, okay, let's talk about it.
Okay. So how did my reaction, like the whole, like the kind of the silent, and I said, oh my gosh, are you kidding? And you were like, oh, this is not a...
That I was worried about.
Yeah. What was your reaction to that? Like, internally, like maybe you didn't say it or vocalize it, but what was your reaction? Josh said,
I don't like seeing Tina like that.
I mean, I guess felt like we let you down.
Yeah.
okay.
Like I said, you were disappointed
Fair,
in us. So
fair.
it's, like, oh, I don't want anybody to be disappointed. So
Okay.
felt a little guilty.
Okay. So I'll do my version now.
Yeah, Tina, give us your version.
And I think this is going to just kind of spell out to everybody the difference between how men and women think differently about things and the thought process that I went through for the week prior to last Wednesday. So when you came out of the office, I saw them sitting in here. It looked like they were laughing and talking. And I was like, oh, good. They're talking about the podcast. Like, we've got a solid plan ready. Like I was, it was a good Wednesday. Every day's a good day, but it was a good day. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I think there were some good tunes on the radio, and they walk out together and thinking they're going to be like, hey, we're all ready to go. And they said, what's the topic? And so I remember the song playing on the radio because I have this weird memory, and it was Say It Isn't So by Hall & Oates, and it was just blaring over the radio, and it's like, say it isn't so, and that's all I thought in my head, like, is this real? Like, say it isn't so, that they are just kidding me, they remember the topic. Now
We
you're
were
probably
just
like,
kidding.
yeah, no, they weren't kidding. And that's okay that they weren't kidding, because here's the deal. The week before, yes, I recall having I thought a decent length conversation on the topic. I don't remember everything, but I probably remember more than most people. I've been told I have a pretty good memory, even like from a long time ago. It's my short term that seems to be lacking these days. But I remember having that conversation. So my reaction to them coming out and saying, and me being like, are you kidding me? And say it isn't so, was from, I thought the conversation was long enough that we were on the same page. Now, I'm not saying we aren't on the same page, but that at that moment in time, that disappointment was true. Those emotions, and I would never say like, oh, we screwed up or whatever. I'm not going to say bad words, but we didn't F up or something like that. But that's true. I did. I felt a little disappointed and a little let down that I thought that the conversation warranted more of a memory. These guys are just sitting here looking at me. They don't even know what to say next.
No, I agree.
It's not, and so, but here's the deal though, like we said, I don't think that we're not on the same page, but at that moment in time, that is where that emotion led me to, is to I felt disappointed, that was true, and a little let down, because I thought the conversation was more than just in passing.
And it was. And I think that's what brings it to the differences between the way we all view things. I mean, the fact that he and I didn't talk about it, or, we just assume, we just in our mind, we were in the same place. Mm-hmm. And we didn't, we left this room, a week went by, we didn't discuss it any further. Mm-hmm. But he and I both viewed it the same way, and it was different than the way you viewed it.
Correct. And so I think that's case in point right here of the difference between how men and women can view things differently. It doesn't mean that either person, again, this is not about they were wrong or I was right. And I appreciate that Josh's wife, he shared the story with her and she agreed with me that they should have remembered. Whether they should have or shouldn't have is irrelevant. It's just we all take away stories from interactions with our coworkers, with our family, with friends, and it happens all the time, right? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time, and the biggest thing is that it happens without any actual evidence or proof that what your story is actually true. Like, you can make an assumption, but, once you gave us a topic, all you had to do is say, oh yeah, we're talking about environment change. Mm-hmm. Boom. I had everything ready to go in my head. I just tucked it away for a little while. Mm-hmm. And forgot where I put it. It's in one of them shelves over there that looks like a disaster.
Yes, it could be. And again, like I said, it's not like they're saying I was spicy. I guess I was a little bit.
Well, you were still smiling.
I still smile. And I'm still smiling today. And I'm still smiling.
We've worked together a lot of years, and I haven't seen that Tina very often.
Oh. Whoa. And that's an interesting point too, because we all have worked together for a long time. It was just an interesting story, which kind of sparked our topic for today, in a long and short way of explaining it.
You want to know, because of the emotion you had last week, we didn't forget the topic today.
We were locked in.
At no point did I forget what we were talking about today. All week.
And I will say that I purposely avoided talking about the topic this week, not because of what happened, but just because of more like I wasn't really sure how to put all of this together and into what we're doing today. But I think
she was testing us.
No, I was not. But now that it's here, I think it was a good place to clear the air.
Yeah, and and having this conversation is good because, like, a lot of times as we're working with people, most people's struggles come from some other story that they've told themselves. Like, it's coming from somewhere, so it's causing this stress, whether it be with the spouse, a friend, a coworker, a boss, whatever it is. Like, people are having issues, and I spend a lot of time coaching people on how to have a conversation with said person, and because we have to get out of this gray area. Like, really what we had last week was this gray area of you thinking one thing, me thinking another.
Yep.
And they don't know what they're talking. They don't even know what's going on today versus like, well, yeah, I'm pretty confident I know what's going on. So now it's like nobody really knows, or we all three couldn't specifically say, yes, we do know the topic, or no, we don't, or is this going to work, or no, it's not. It's kind of like, oh, maybe this is going to work, maybe it's not going to work. And getting out of that gray area and getting people out of that gray area in general, anytime you can just have direct conversation and things are black and white for both parties, things become so much easier, and you find out that most of what you were thinking was a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Like, that disappointment and letdown, actually, that's not really what happened, but what happened was that's the story I created from the situation, when really what happened is exactly what happened. You guys explained it very well. Like, we knew we had it, we just didn't remember. That part of it struck me wrong. Like, okay, it's not important to them, but I know it's important to you. I know the show is important to all of us because we do it every week. So it's not that we forgot that we were recording or anything like that. It was just miscommunication. And that's really another important key that I want to talk about today is Jeff was saying having conversations with people, but communication is key. A lot of the times when I'm talking to a client about making a change and it maybe has something to do with a conversation with another person, I'm shocked at the amount of times they'll say, have you talked to the other person? Oh, no, I haven't talked to him at all. So what they've done is they've created multiple layers of a story where they've never even communicated with coworker, friends, partners, whatever, about what's actually going on. And that's how our mindset gets all kind of wonky, because we're believing things that aren't true. Because now, I mean, obviously last week I knew that the show was important to you guys. That wasn't an issue, but that didn't take away still from that little feeling of like, that kind of like, hit me the wrong way last week. Why last week? I don't know.
Well, and the fact that we both knew that confronting you with what is the time, we knew deep down, we knew that wasn't going to sit well.
Well,
So that, I mean, that speaks to it too.
Well, you like to, like, just in general, you want more structure. Like going into something, you want more structure, where I'm a little easier to just go with the flow and let's just see where this thing takes us.
yeah,
And that's just two totally different ways of doing anything.
And I would say that I was years ago, I still want more structure than him probably, but I probably end up somewhere in the middle because so many years of working with him, I've just kind of gone the other way a little bit.
All right, I can drag everybody in.
I said a little bit.
I actually can relate to that very well, because I've planned several events with Jeff over the past however many, I don't know, lots of years. And while we've gotten better at organizing things, there are still things where I'll be like watching him, like what I know he's doing or supposed to be doing. And it always gets done. But sometimes I'm just like, how does he do that? Like it actually makes me a little jealous sometimes that he can just be very cool and nonchalant and like very calm.
And it all works out.
And it all works out.
And our trips to the airport, we always make it. We're always on
Always
time.
make it.
Yep. We've only
So-
had, you know.
And it's so, like, for me, like, I guess procrastination, and it's fine. We'll use procrastination. Procrastination gets a very negative turn, like negative feel to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're a procrastinator.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, so I've kind of been called that forever, but like to me, it's not even a negative thing. Like, just because to me, I almost look at it as like, I actually put in more work than you, because I waited till the end. Doesn't mean I wasn't working on it. Like, things are going through my head. Things are happening just because it's not physically done, versus somebody who races to get something done to get it done. But then they had 2 or 3 weeks left. It's like, well, I spent an extra 3 weeks actually thinking about the entire thing than what you did. So I kind of look at it as like, I actually took every minute to put into it.
Yeah, and I don't even look at it as procrastination. That's not like procrastination to me is like putting things off, and almost you can put them off indefinitely, whereas you're just more like it's down to the wire.
Yeah.
But I still don't view it as I don't view it as procrastination. And I don't view it negatively either. In fact, like I said, it's almost like it's a very calm under pressure type situation. Like, I'm not concerned that it's not going to get done. I just would like more details on how it's getting done. And that's and this, like we talked about a second ago, like I like a little more structure. Like, I would like to know maybe when it's going to happen.
Yeah. And then that's the weird part. It's like, man, when it comes down to towards the end, that's when like the best stuff comes in my head. Like the clues for the scavenger hunt and stuff, like some of the best ones will come 24 hours before this thing's getting ready to start.
Yeah. And we even have clues. We already have clues for next year just because our brains were working during like right before the hunt and right after it. So like that's cool, because now like if we're working ahead and see how excited I got about the fact that we're working ahead on something.
And then there's always a risk I'm going to change everything.
Yeah, and then there's always the risk that it's going to change. Like somebody messaged me yesterday about we have a big holiday party every year for all of our clients, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to reserve the space?" And it's like, "Yes, I want to reserve it." It's April 1st, and I'm excited about reserving things in the future. So that just kind of shows you like where my mind is around certain things.
And I haven't even thought about the Christmas party.
You mean you're not done with trivia yet?
No. Yeah, that's all, not on the radar.
So,
But yeah, like I said, it's just important that, like if you ever get frustrated with somebody because they think differently than you or just act different, it's not because they don't care. Like rarely is that ever the case. But that's a story that a lot of people get. Oh, no, yeah, he just doesn't care, or he's not interested, or whatever. It's like, no, I would venture to say that is probably not the real answer. If it's actually somebody that you're close with or a friend or whatever.
Yeah, that's rarely going to be the answer. And
But that's the story that gets made up all the time is they fill in the blank or she or he, whatever, fill it in however you want. And then, that's where chaos comes. And then the downward spiral, which
So communication.
communication is key. Communication is key,
Yeah.
always. Josh, you had an example of some maybe miscommunication.
Yeah. So you guys know that Michelle and I like to entertain.
Yes.
And have people over.
Very good entertainers.
We were discussing a family event, a possible family event coming up. And you also know that we've got kids in ball right now. So it's a busy time. And, I said, are you sure we want to do this? And, oh yeah, I think it's relaxing. And I tried hard and hard to say, let's maybe push this off. Let's push the easy button. Let's go out. And because fully knowing that if we open this door and we're having people over, she just wants to do it all. And that weekend that she's wanting to do it, I don't know that there's time to do it all. And so I keep trying to make it easier. And then behind my back, she's adding all these things in and wanting to do all these things. And so I'm like, what the hell is going on here? She's like, I don't get to do this very often. I find this as a stress reliever. Where to me, adding all these things and making it all this difficult is stressful. So we had to break it down. It was in a car ride, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You think this is easier? I'm like,
you got to be kidding me line again. I love that line.
You're adding 10 layers of stress here. She's like, no, I think it'll be great. I love having that family day. I just need to do all these things. Okay. But it took us sitting and hashing it out. Otherwise, there would have been
the old bringing people into the house.
Yeah.
Boy, two different opinions on that one.
Yeah.
At least our house is.
Oh, sure. And I look at it as like, oh, well, then you've got to clean the house. And then you have a dirty house to clean up afterwards. I'd rather just skip the whole thing. Or I know your theory. You just clean the house after they come.
Yeah. Why am I scrubbing the floors before people come?
Well, Tina, does that work?
You got to do both.
You just have.
You got to do both.
That's in Michelle's mind.
Yeah, and so in that situation, in my mind, let's say that was at my house with Bill, I would be going through my mind as if he was encouraging me, like, let's do it. It's a stress reliever for me. I would just be going into my mind and thinking that I need to do it all, right? And that I have to do it all, like that no one is going to help me. So again, that's a story that I've created around that situation. And I bet there's a lot of people listening who can relate to that. Like, well, I guess I'm going to be responsible for that then. So did that pop into your mind when you were saying, like, we've got to do all these extra things? She's saying she's doing it. Were you confident that she'll do them?
Yeah, we all do these things together.
Okay.
It was more, I know she wants everything. She has a certain standard when people come through the door for food and drink and everything. And how the house should look and all this. I know she has a certain standard, and I know what it takes to get to that standard. And even if we do it together, I still know it's a lot of work. And for her, it's relaxing to spend some time in the kitchen together and doing these things, and then having the kids all in one, the kids out enjoying, and that's her relaxation point. Where I just look at all the work that has to be done. I spend enough time with the kids. I'd like to ship them off.
Yeah, I would be on more of your camp. Like, let's hit the easy button. To the easy button? Because that is not relaxing to me.
I mean, maybe we clean the house, but maybe then we order pizzas in. Yeah. Or maybe we just go to a restaurant and have somebody else do it.
What do you think, Jeff?
Well,
Mr. Cool, easygoing, nonchalant, calm under pressure.
So my biggest thing is, especially with company, is that's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with all my stuff. Like, it is about, like, who's coming over. Okay, cool. I get to hang out with these people, and that is what consumes me. How do I entertain them? And, like, what game are we going to play? Like, what activity are we going to do? That's what excites me. Like, my surroundings, I could care less for the most part. Like I just want everybody to come over. Yeah. Like whatever. Somebody comes and see, like, I know we don't live in a museum, and I don't think anybody believes we live in a museum. And that's why, like, the picture that I put on Facebook today, like having kids, like I intentionally took one that our counter is a mess, or I have like some things on, some clutter on our
So
countertop.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but I did see the picture, and I noticed that your drill was
Yeah.
like your
So like,
drill was.
and like I
Kids
intentionally
play with it.
picked that one because it fit the subject of, like, kids cause chaos. Like that's just where we're at.
I didn't know if you were doing a home repair. I was just like, oh, the drill's
I
out
didn't
again.
get the drill out and put it in
Okay,
the picture.
all
Yeah,
right.
I was doing something.
Okay.
What was I doing? I don't know, hanging.
It's in the dishwasher.
Fixing the
Oh
dishwasher.
no! I was taking apart toys in the basement so I could get rid of them
Oh, okay.
because I hate a bunch of toys.
But I did notice that the picture had the,
And we hung a new light in our kitchen.
okay. All right.
Above our table. Thanks to my father-in-law. Not me. So yeah, that's my take. But Deanna is very different on that. Like, she wants everything to look very nice. She loves the presentation of the food, the charcuterie boards, all
Why'd you
these
say it
things
like
that
that?
I would have never.
What happened to your voice right there?
Grazing tables, charcuterie boards. Things are crazy.
All these things where it's like, just put them in a bowl.
Can we just open the bag and people just like,
just-
if they want a
you wanna-
pretzel, just get it out of the bag.
Yeah, you want a grape? Pull it off the vine.
Yeah, pull it off the vine. But yeah, so, clearly us sharing with you today things that have happened to us, even these are all probably pretty recent things. Everything's very recent. It's very easy to create a story about a situation that is 110% entirely false, but you'll believe it so long that you'll just
Just hold on to it.
hold
tight.
on to it. And then the next time that same person does something to you, and you create another story, and then another story, and another story, and you've got a novel,
Yeah.
chapters of all these stories about why this happened or this didn't happen, versus maybe just having the conversation and saying, hey, this isn't cool. Can we talk about it? And I bet you're going to get a different reaction than you expected.
Yeah. Somebody will be caught off guard completely.
Yes.
The other person that wasn't in the story.
Like I caught these guys off guard today with our opening segment.
Yeah, it's good.
And I thought of that this morning, so I was actually proud of myself for that. So I'm like, we're just gonna lay this all out on the line
Well done.
and let the viewers decide if I was right or wrong. But as I said, no one's right or wrong, but I was right.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, but we'll take some feedback on that.
Yeah.
Let's hear your made up stories.